In this chapter we will discuss about U.S. Constitution. U.S. Constitution. Quick facts. Thomas Jefferson was the author of Declaration of Independence. After Declaration of Independence, there was a need of plan for unity and prosperity. On March 1, 1781, the Article of Confederation was proposed to govern the states. The Federalist Papers were drafted in 1787 to overcome weaknesses of Articles of Confederation. James Madison was the father of Constitution. 38 out of 41 delegates present at the convention signed the Constitution. It came into effect on June 21, 1788. Bill of Rights was later added to the Constitution. Principles of Constitution. The framers of the Constitution constructed a new system of government. 7 principles supported their efforts. To how these principles work, imagine 7 building blocks. Together they form the foundation of the United States Constitution. Popular sovereignty. Who gives the government its power? We, the people of the United States. Establish this Constitution for the United States of America. These words from the preamble, or introduction, to the Constitution clearly spell out the source of the government's power, the people. The American form of government emphasizes freedom, democracy, and the importance of the individual. The Constitution rests on the idea of popular sovereignty minus a government in which the people rule. As the nation changed and grew, popular sovereignty took on new meaning. A broader range of Americans shared in the power to govern themselves. Republicanism. How are people's views represented in government? The framers of the Constitution, the people who created the Constitution, wanted the people to have a voice in government. Yet the framers also feared that public opinion might stand in the way of sound decision-making. To solve this problem, they looked to republicanism as a model of government. In republicanism, the people exercise their power by voting for their political representatives. According to the framers, these chosen lawmakers played the key role in making a republican government work. An important part of republicanism is the idea that citizens stay informed about politics and participate in the process by voting. Federalism. How is power shared? The framers wanted the states and the nation to become partners in governing. To build cooperation, the framers turned to federalism. Federalism is a system of government in which power is divided between a central government and smaller political units, such as states. In the early years of the United States, federalism was closely related to dual sovereignty, the idea that the powers of the federal government and the states were clearly defined, and each had exclusive power over their own spheres with little overlap. This view of federalism led to states' rights conflicts, which were contributing factors in the Civil War. The framers used federalism to structure the Constitution. The Constitution assigns certain powers to the national government. These are delegated powers. Powers kept by the states are reserved powers. An example of this would be that the national government set the minimum voting age for every state, and the states set the minimum driving age in their own state. Separation of powers. How is power divided? The framers were concerned that too much power might fall into the hands of a single group. To avoid this problem, they built the idea of separation of powers into the Constitution. This separation of powers means the division of basic government roles into branches. No one branch is given all the power. Articles 1, 2, and 3 of the Constitution detail how powers are split among the 3 branches. Checks and balances. How is power evenly distributed? Baron de Montesquieu, an 18th-century French thinker, wrote, "Power should be a check to power." His comment refers to the principle of checks and balances. In the principle of checks and balances, each branch of government can exercise checks or controls over the other branches. Though the branches of government are separate, they rely on one another to perform the work of government. The framers included a system of checks and balances in the Constitution to help make sure that the branches work together fairly. For example, only Congress can pass laws. Yet the President can check this power by refusing to sign a law into action. In turn, the Supreme Court can declare that a law passed by Congress and signed by the President violates the Constitution. Limited government. How is abuse of power prevented? The framers restricted the power of government. This is known as the principle of limited government. Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution lists the powers denied to the Congress. Article 1, Section 10 forbids the states to take certain actions. The principle of limited government is also closely related to the rule of law. In the American government, everyone, citizens and powerful leaders alike, must obey the law. Individuals or groups cannot twist or bypass the law to serve their own interests. Structure of the Constitution. Preamble, Statement of Purpose. Articles, Legislative Branch, Executive Branch, Judicial Branch, Relations among the States, Amendment, Federal Power, Ratification. Amendments, 27, First 10 are Bill of Rights. Article I, Legislative Branch. Bicameral. Senate. 2 senators from each state. House of Representatives. Representatives are chosen based on population. Reps serve for 2 years. Senators serve for 6 years. Article 2, Executive Branch. President and Vice President are elected for 4 years. Elected by Electoral College. Powers. Commander-in-Chief. Appoint its cabinets. Make treaties. Grant pardon. Article 2, Section 4 Impeachment. The President, Vice President, and all other officers can be removed or punished for conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes. Article 3, Judicial Branch. Supreme Court judges serve for life unless impeached. Decides cases for constitutional and federal law. Cases involving ambassadors directly go to the Supreme Court. Article of Relations among States. Each state shall have access to other states' public records and judicial proceedings. Citizens of each state are entitled to the same privileges as the citizens of every state. A person charged in any state who flees from justice another state must be returned to charged state. New states may be admitted into the Union by Congress but not within the jurisdiction of another state. Congress has all the authority to regulate all property of United States. The U.S. guarantees a republican form of government. Article Amendment tells the process to change the Constitution. For ratification, it should be approved in 3/4 of states. Article V, Federal Power. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Article V, Ratification. The ratification of the conventions of 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution between the states so ratifying the same.